Hey, what's up guys? Chief Pat here, and today bringing you guys a brand new Clash Royale video, and today we're going to be using the Barbarian Hut for the first ever time inside of a serious deck. Now, I know I've done videos like the all building video that I posted yesterday, and I've used the Barbarian Hut maybe inside of some weird challenges, but I don't remember ever using the Barbarian Hut inside of any of the decks on my main account. So I thought I would use it today. A lot of people have been bringing it back, thinking that it's pretty strong. So I went ahead and copied this deck from the leaderboard, and we can go ahead and give it a test and try it out. Now, one thing about this deck is that it has the 3 Musketeers plus the Barbarian Hut. So when you have those two together, if your opponent has a Fireball or a Lightning spell, they can get some pretty insane value off of you if you end up comboing those together. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful about how I play things. So right now I'm gonna start off by splitting the 3 Musketeers towards the very top. He's gonna be playing a Golem deck, and to take a look at my Musketeers. At least one of the Musketeers is on the bridge, so that's going to help out a bit, so it's not going to get targeted by the tower. But here comes the Golem and the Mega Minion, and all in all, even though we took the tower on the right to 736, this dude does a massive counter push coming down this left-hand lane. His Golem's finally going to pop, which means my tower will lock onto the Mega Minion, but all in all, this is not really the start we wanted to this game. Would have wanted it to be a little bit cleaner, but it looks like, all in all, we're not going to lose too much health on our tower, even though the new and improved Baby Dragon from like 2 balance changes ago will put a hurt onto that tower right there. All right, so 1100 to 700 on the left to the right hand tower, not too shabby at all. With this deck, there's a lot of different ways you can play it. You've got the Hog Rider inside of it to go on the offensive, obviously the slow and calculated push with the Barbarians. The Ice Golem's pretty good as well for tanking as well as going on a push, so let's go and do that right now. I've got an Ice Golem Hog Rider push in the left hand lane, and meanwhile he's got a Golem and an Ice Wizard push in this right hand lane. And he actually had a pretty good defense against me on that left-hand side, to where I'm not going to be able to take that tower down and take a look at everything he has. I have nothing to play against his Golem except for my 3 Musketeers, so I'm going to have to play those in the very center and pray he doesn't have a Lightning spell or a Fireball. Those are going to continually shoot away the Golem and the Archers as well as the Ice Wizard, but unfortunately that Lightning spell will rain down on those 3 Musketeers, and he's going to be taking the very first tower of the game. So I'm still not too worried. I do know, since he has the Lightning spell, that this left-hand tower is probably as good as dead, but still, I'm going to keep my Hut going. There goes the Barbarian Hut right now, this time not with a Golem in its face, and hopefully we'll be able to take down that first tower soon and go for a game-winning push towards the very end, maybe with our 3 Musketeers. Now, since he invested in a Golem on the other side, that means I'm going to go all out on the right-hand lane. We've got the Ice Golem, we've got the Hog Rider, we've got the Mega Minion, we've got the Archer as well as a Fireball. The Hog Rider will take out that tower just barely, and now with 30 seconds left, take a look. We've got the Golem onto the tower. I'm going to use the log to bring the Golem away from the tower to avoid the 300 damage it does by when it separates, and because of that, the tower now cannot be Lightning spelled for him to win. Now, I've got a crazy amount of Barbarians. I've got Archers, I've got my Mega Minion, a perfect Fireball to hit absolutely everything. We get the Mega Minion and Archers heading towards the tower. The Hog Rider's doing work as well. As the log flies down the lane with 4 seconds left, that tower will finally go down, and he's going to go ahead and take that Lightning spell to my tower just a little bit too late, and it wouldn't have had enough damage anyways because of that game-winning log play on that left-hand side to keep that Golem from the tower. The Golem just does so much damage when it explodes onto the tower, so if you can log it away from it just in the nick of time, it'll end up saving your battle just like it did for me right there, and we picked up a sloppy but a pretty nice 2 crown to 1 victory. Now, let's go and hop into battle number 2. Hopefully no Lightning spells or Fireballs, but we're going to be playing against Itaioso, and looks like we've got a double Archer start. I'll use my Ice Golem then, and then of course the Barbarian Hut is the staple to our deck, and I'm going to get ready to play that down the right-hand side to help out with my Ice Golem. Now, the Barbarians versus the Ice Wizard actually works out really well for the Ice Wizard, because with the slow as well as the tower damage, if you're fighting on their side of the map, the Barbarians lose pretty much every single time. They usually get about 1 hit in onto the Ice Wizard, so he's got a really nice push started right now, and I'm going to have to make an awkward play with my 3 Musketeers and pray that he doesn't have a Lightning spell. If he has a Lightning spell, he's going to destroy everything, but instead, he has the log, which means, or the graveyard, which means that graveyard's going to be doing work. I don't have my Archers yet, so I had to use my log before I did anything. Really well played by him, and he's going to have a massive lead going into the rest of the battle, even though those Archers won't do too much. Our tower's going to be all the way down to the 600s, and meanwhile, our push only got him down to 1600 down that left-hand lane. All right, well, I do know one thing, and that's that he doesn't have the Lightning spell, because he didn't use it on my 3 Musketeers when they were so wide open to being hit by spells. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and wait till I hit 10 Elixir. As soon as I do, I'll go for an Ice Golem Hog Rider push. Prediction Fireball! Must have lagged a little bit. That one did not work well at all. In fact, we're not even going to get a single hit from the Hog Rider off onto the tower. Not good. And I'm going to log down his big push. The log was actually placed perfectly to make sure that first archer didn't do anything. And no archer damage took any, I guess we didn't take any archer damage on that left-hand tower, but guys, this game isn't looking the best so far. He's got that other tower down to 630. Who knows what he has inside of his deck to help take that tower out, but here comes the Lava Hound, which means I'm going to go ahead and play my 3 Musketeers yet again and send 2 to the right and 3 to the left. Now, if he has the lightning spell, he's going to use it onto the tower right now, but he's playing the Mega Minion, so he's actually going to use the Graveyard spell, and the Graveyard's going to be what my Musketeers and Archers start shooting for, where my Ice Golem's going to be tanking against his Mega Minion. Now, meanwhile, in the left-hand lane, look at the Hog Rider, look at the Musketeer doing work on that left-hand tower. I don't even care that he has this big push on the right because my Musketeers and my Archers are doing work, and just like that, we've evened the game up, and we even have a Fireball and a log, which should be able to take that tower out. So the tower's down to 36. He's got some minions right here. I'll use the Ice Golems at a perfect tank. Another Barbarian Hut's going to go down right now, and notice how I placed it farther to the right because I wanted to make sure that his Lava Hound locked onto the Barbarian Hut, but unfortunately for us, the skeletons are just spawning too quickly for us to be able to take them out before they take down the tower, so I'm going to have to quickly log down this tower on the left-hand side, and I actually thought the game was over. I didn't think he was going to be able to get that Graveyard to kill my tower right there, so we're going to go ahead and head to overtime, and battle is pretty much exactly even. Now, the Ice Golem's going to go in the center and help tank a little bit, as well as help out against those minions. I've got the Hog Rider beating down on the tower while the Mega Minion's doing as best as it can, but all in all, this is only, looks like we've got about 15 seconds into overtime, and we've only done 800 damage on that right-hand tower. Now look at this Lava Hound. He's playing a Lava Hound right in my face when I have these 3 Musketeers, so you know what? I'm going for the win. I've got the log going down just in case we need to predict. He's got a Tombstone trying to protect against my 3 Musketeers, but guys, that Lava Hound was just so greedy that I knew I could finish off the game with a game-winning push and end it off into overtime. Woo! That was a little closer than I thought. A really rough start to the game, getting our tower down to 630. I did not expect the Graveyard spell, which is just so strong right now, but still able to pull out the win after making one last desperation push with those 3 Musketeers. Having 3 Musketeers in a Barbarian Hut when your opponent does not have Fireball or a Lightning spell is really, really nice. And let's go ahead and hop into another battle against Dox right here. And it looks like he's going to be starting with the Tombstone now. I was about to guess that he would be playing the Lava Hound or the Golem with the Tombstone, but he's got a Valkyrie, so who knows what type of deck he could be running. He could be running the Trifecta deck with the Musketeer and the Hog Rider. He's got a Mega Minion inside of it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and split up my 3 Musketeers. He does have a Lightning spell, so I need to remember that for the remainder of the battle. But we should be able to get a pretty decent counter push right now with our Barbarians, our Ice Golem, and our Musketeer. And then now the log's going to perfectly kill that Tombstone. Hog Rider's going to run straight towards the tower, and this is where we start to make bank. We've got the Ice Golem exploding. We get the Barbarian doing work against the Tombstone, as well as the Musketeer and Hog Rider shooting at the tower. First tower of the game is going to go down on that counter push right there, and we've even got the Barbarians tanking for our Musketeer. We're going to continually do damage on this left-hand side. In fact, I'm going to get ready potentially with another Barbarian Hut, depending on what he's going to do right now, and he's going to play the Lava Hound. You know what? Why not just go for the 3rd crown? I've got so much elixir, and he just wasted 7 down that right-hand lane. I'm going to drop the Ice Golem. I've got the Archers, the Mega Minion. He just dropped his Valkyrie, so guess what? My 3 Musketeers are going to be absolutely perfect for annihilating that King Tower. His Mega Minion plays so my Mega Minion kills it before it kills mine, and look at these Musketeers. Guessing he has no Fireball, guessing he has no Lightning spell, or actually he does have the Lightning spell because we realized that from earlier. The Musketeers are going to do work against the tower, bringing it all the way down to 111 HP. My log only does like 104, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the log right there. A little bit of a thumbs up, so close to the tower going down, and for a moment I actually thought this game was a regular battle, so I was going to let him get the tower for his crown chest, but of course this is a challenge, so as soon as that tower goes down, let's go ahead and fireball it down, and that'll give us a 3 crown to 1 victory. Woo! That's what happens, man. When people invest so much on the other side, they don't respect the 3rd crown. They're like, okay, they took my left-hand tower, they're probably going to go for my right-hand tower and then go for the King Tower. Sometimes you can just go for the King Tower if they can't counter what you've got throwing at them, and that's what happened right there. I just said, hey, if you're going to let me take this left-hand tower and keep pushing for the King Tower, why not just go for the whole entire thing right there? And it ended up working out perfectly. Now, one more battle we're going to get into today, another Lava Hound deck. And he's got the skeleton army and the lava hound, a little bit interesting. I'm going to use my ice golem because, as you guys know, the ice golem's explosion does kill the skeletons, even though his fire spirits are going to remain alive. I've got 2 musketeers on that right-hand side that are going to do work, and now that he's playing that log and he's going to start doing some countering to those musketeers on the right, I know he's so low on elixir that we should be able to damage this left-hand side pretty significantly. Now, the minion horde is a good card against the hog. It's going to take it out fairly quickly, but we do have the musketeers and the archers, which are working out pretty perfectly to kill that minion horde, and the musketeer is going to die before reaching the tower, but still, we took the right-hand tower to 1126. We got 500 damage done on that left-hand tower, and really bad reflexes right there by me. I either had to say, hey, I'm going to take 1 hit from the bomber, or I'm going to play my mega minion earlier, but I was an idiot right there. Like, that mega minion was so late, and honestly a bad decision because the bomber by itself will only get 1 hit off on the tower, so really just a waste of 3 elixir right there, and not my best play. So this game has started off a little shaky. He's got a giant skeleton, and I don't know if he doesn't know, but the clone spell isn't out just yet, so the giant skeleton cloned bomb isn't going to work out either. So let's play the archers to help out against the giant skeleton. The ice golem worked as well. And now my barbarians will switch to the other side, so we will lose these barbarians right here, but it's not going to reach its way to the barbarian hut, which is really what I was going for. Now, really the name of the game is how are we going to take out this right-hand tower? Another bomber by itself, by the way, which I'm just going to let run to the tower, and as you can see, it dies in 1 hit, like I said previously. Let's go and play our 3 musketeers, get ready to try to take down our very first tower of the game, as he has to continually respond to that barbarian hut by playing the 3 elixir skeleton army. All right, so getting ready in double elixir, we've got the hog rider in our hand. We have so many troops on the right hand side. Why not switch it up to the left hand side? And that actually ended up being a perfect decision because that giant skeleton would have blown up most of the stuff I had down that right hand lane, which is going to do right now. But look at the mega minion and the musketeer. They're both doing work on that left hand tower. Pushing both lanes at the same time ended up giving us the first tower of the game. The log's going to take out the skeletons. Look at the ice golem go. I'm ready to drop the 3 musketeers, but he does have the giant skeleton. You know, I'm sort of trolling at this point. I don't even care about the giant skeleton. I guess I'll drop my archers in front of it, but it's still going to make its way to the tower. But meanwhile, in the right-hand lane, our 3 musketeers are going to do work, and this is pretty much going to signify the end of the battle. The minion horde might actually be able to kill the musketeers right here, which would be pretty nice for him. And as that giant skeleton gets close, I guess it will explode my king tower. But unfortunately, the giant skeleton doesn't do 4,008 damage, and this game is going to be over. So guys, this deck is pretty fun. Honestly, it has a lot of weaknesses to it as far as the lightning spell and direct damage goes. If you're going against a smart opponent who knows how to count their cards and make sure that they always have that spell in rotation, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to win against them. But against certain decks, it's obviously extremely strong and pretty fun to play. So if you guys want to try the Barbarian Hut, if you know any good Barbarian Hut decks, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Here's the deck again: Barbarian Hut, 3 Musketeers, Archers, Mega Minion, Fireball, Hog Rider, Ice Golem, as well as the Log. That's going to do it. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.